I heard the doctor ask how many people have had a year in recovery, or 5 years or 30 years. I would only suggest to you that all of us are recovering from something.
A leading expert in the field, some of you may be familiar with his book, Slaying the Dragon. He's wrote many articles. He's been in the field for, I'm going to say, almost 40 years. But as a world-renowned expert, he's been on PBS, Bill Moyer's special. His books have been recognized. And without further ado, I give you Mr. William White.
Good morning, Philadelphia. Good morning. It is wonderful to be here with you.
In 2004, Dr. Arthur Evans was asked to come to this city and lead behavioral health initiatives. And one of the things he did that I think was most important of all the things he's done in this city was that he listened. The first thing he did when he arrived was he began to go out and simply ask questions. Began to talk about focus groups, what in our native worlds we talk about as talking circles. He virtually listened to the experiences of people who were the recipients of behavioral health care in this city. And he talked to the service providers and the directors of the institutions who provide those services. And he talked to all the other community institutions and began to collect, and out of that became a kind of ongoing partnership and conversation that emerged as a vision to transform behavioral health care within this city. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a recovery revolution unfolding in the United States today.
Welcome! All right, this is a celebration, guys. You gotta wake up. You know, if I can get up at 8:30, I'll be here at 8:30. You guys gotta stay with me here. How many people here are in recovery? Stand to your feet. If you're in recovery, we want to celebrate and acknowledge you. Let's give it up for people in recovery. Look around. Stay standing. Stay standing. All right. How many people here have a loved one or know a family member who is in recovery? Stand up. And how many people here are absolutely committed that every person who has an addiction or a mental health problem will get in recovery and we're going to help them? I want you to stand up. Now, besides this being a cheap way for me to get a standing ovation, I just want all of us to recognize, you can sit down, thank you. I just want all of us to recognize that we're all here for one reason, and that is to help people to recover and to help children to be resilient. And I think Bill's going to talk later to put some of the work that we're doing in sort of a national context. But I think it's really important for people to know how your work is being viewed around the country. Earlier this week, I had an interview with a newsletter for the Mid-Atlantic states. And next week, in a couple of weeks, we'll have a delegation of people coming from Detroit. And some of the work that you're doing has been written up in national journals. The point is that the work that you all are doing that is happening here in Philadelphia is being viewed increasingly as very positive work and as leading edge work. And part of this celebration is to stop and just recognize that. One of the people who couldn't be here today, well, first of all, let me recognize Dr. Carissa Ferguson and Kyra Turner. If you're in here, stand up. I don't know if they're in here. Okay, they're the co-chairs and all the people who put this conference together. If we could give them a round of applause for their work. Probably, in my opinion, the most important person behind the Recovery Initiative in Philadelphia, the person who has been there consistently in the beginning, who has been behind every important initiative that we've done in this area, couldn't be with us today. She's out on leave. Hopefully she'll be back with us in the spring. Couldn't be here today, but Dr. Ijama Achara, let's give it up for Ijama. Couldn't be here today. We really wanted to get her here today. She couldn't be here, but we're going to send her the video of this morning's presentation. We actually have a plaque that we want to give to her, and I want to read you the plaque and see a little bit more about why Ijama is so special to us and special to the work that we're doing here. It says, for exceptional leadership, commitment, passion, guidance, and proficiency in creating and furthering the development of a system of care in Philadelphia that promotes recovery, resiliency, and self-determination. Ijama has been, first of all, I think she's brilliant, brilliant young woman. She's compassionate. She is very committed to the work that we're doing, and I want all of you to give a big round of applause. This is going to go out to Ijama. As you're watching this, I hope you know how much we are indebted to you and how much we love you and how much we care about you. And we hope that you'll be back to us soon. So thank you, Ijama. Let me make a few comments before we get started today about what we're trying to do here in Philadelphia. One of the major shifts that we're trying to make is from thinking about what we do as treatment to thinking about what we do as helping people to recover. And that is a huge, huge shift for our field. Those of us who are trained as psychologists or psychiatrists or social workers, what we were trained to do is to provide treatment. And I think we're probably pretty good at that. What the research shows is that in the treatment of chronic illnesses, diabetes, cardiac illness, mental health problems, addiction, we rank up there in terms of our effectiveness. A lot of non-people don't know that, but we're actually pretty good at initiating treatment and treating people for mental illness and addiction. But the reality is that those individuals that stood up and said that I'm in recovery, treatment is only a part of their journey. And for some of them, treatment was not a part of their journey at all. They stepped into a 12-step room, or they went into a church or a synagogue or a masjid, and that's how they initiated their recovery. And what we're trying to do here today is say all of the resources that we have as a system, while it is important to focus on and have the best treatment, ultimately our goal is to help people to recover. And that means that we have to think broader than what happens in what I call the treatment black